Welcome back, design students. In this video, we're going to set up a series of helpers that are going to be constrained to our feet and linked to each other, and also constrained to the IK helpers that we created in the last video. And I wanted to illustrate to you what that does by showing you the one that I have already rigged here. In your scene outliner here, if you look down at the bottom, you'll see another little button here. This brings up your layer manager. Now we're going to set up layers. You don't have to worry about this right now, but all of my helpers are in a layer and they are hidden. And this is the advantage of using layers, is you can hide and freeze various things in a layer. It helps you organize things. So here are all the helpers that I have on this rig. And you can see them right here. Now the reason we need to use helpers is because we need to be able to link everything to this foot control so that the foot control can do various things. If we tried to link the foot to the foot control, it wouldn't do everything we need it to do, and it would disrupt the hierarchy. So we have to use constraints and helpers in order to help us set up the control objects. So if we look at the schematic view, you can see here that the foot control that I have selected right now is linked to the foot helper, which is in the back here, which is linked to the toe, which is linked to the ankle. The ankle helper is position constrained to the IK chain that we created in the last video, and the foot is orientation constrained to this helper. And they are linked in this order and then linked to the foot controller. And what that allows us to do is pick up the foot controller and then rotate the foot independent of everything else, and it doesn't cause anything else to move. In addition to that, it solves that problem that I showed you in the last video, whereby when you move the body, the feet go down through the floor. See here, the feet remain stuck exactly to the floor, and that's what we want. So let's go ahead and set this up on our new scene. So here we are on our new scene. Let's go ahead and start by creating some layers. In your scene outliner, come down to the bottom and open up the layer manager by clicking this button here. And you'll see that everything you have created so far is in this default layer, including the IKs. So let's create a new layer by clicking the plus sign, and let's name this one Helpers. Notice that when we create that new layer, it is now active. When this little blue stack icon is clicked here, that means that everything you create is going to go in this layer. So make sure this one is selected. And then let's open up the default layer and select those two IK chains that we created and drag them into the new layer we created. And I already had one of them selected when I created the new layer, and it put it in there automatically. So let's go ahead and close this, and let's create the point helpers for our feet. So let's go to the Create tab, and we're going to go to Helpers, which is right here. Click that button, and what we need to create is a point helper. So click Point, and then just click anywhere in the scene. And then let's go to the Modify tab and add a box to that point helper. And let's go ahead and rename it PT for point PT CTRL underscore R underscore toe. And then let's highlight that name and copy it by pressing Ctrl-C. So now what we need to do is align this point control with our foot's orientation. When we constrain the foot to this point control, if the orientations, in other words the rotations, if they are different, then the foot will flip out, and we need them to be the same. So to align this point control with the foot's orientation, we're going to use the Align tool. And to do that, you need to select the Move tool and then hit Alt-A on your keyboard, and that changes your cursor to the Align tool. And then just simply click on the foot, and that'll bring up this little dialog box. We need it to align in the X, Y, and Z position. It needs to be aligned on the pivot point, and we also need to align it on the X, Y, and Z orientation. And then click OK. And then let's switch to our left view by hitting L on the keyboard. And we're going to take this point control, toe control that we created, we're going to put it right down here on the toe, just like so. And then we're going to switch back to the perspective view, and we're going to copy this by holding down Shift and moving in any axis. I'm going to go ahead and create 2 of these. And let's align this one to the ankle here. So let's use Alt-A again and click on the foot. These are already checked. Click OK. And then we're going to change this one from toe to ankle. And then we can take this one and move it over. Line it up like this with this one. And then we can move it in the back here. And hit the L key and make sure it's lined up exactly with the heel, like so. And this should be orientation aligned with the orientation already of the ankle because we copied it. But we can make sure by hitting Alt-A and clicking the point control that we already clicked, and then moving it back down to the heel. Change this one from toe to heel. And then let's return to the perspective view by hitting P on our keyboard. And we're going to select all of these and hold down Shift and make a copy over this way. And then we're going to align them. Holding down Alt-A, align this one with the ankle. Holding down Alt-A, align this one again, and then we're going to move it up a little bit so we can distinguish it. Going to hit L on my keyboard and put it down here so I know it's aligned with the toe. Go back to P. I'm going to align this one by hitting Alt-A again and moving it up a little bit to distinguish it. Hit L again on my keyboard, and then move it down and make sure it's aligned with the heel. Return to the perspective view, and then we can change the names. I was going to say all we need to do is change the R to an L, but I have it backwards. This is the left, so this needs to be L. So let's go ahead and make that correction. And then we can clean these up by deleting the little numbers that are automatically added to it. Sometimes you want numbers, but in this case we don't need them. So, in the next video we're going to constrain these and link them all together. And notice after we created them, they're already in our layer. And so in the next video, as I said, we're going to constrain these and link them together. And I'll see you then.